for more and more years. So if you see that they don't back this trading unit with gold, you'll know that they intend to keep the depression going on for years. And as I said on the program earlier, and other programs, that they'll have another war, and it'll be devastating because we'll be involved in nuclear war as well, because Russia and China both will not stand by and allow the United States and Israel to attack Iran. They're just not going to do it. And this past week they told the United States, you do it, you got a problem. And so I think that's the way that's going to turn out, unfortunately. And that means throughout the world a lot of people are going to die, and that's dreadful. But anyway, the big winner in this thing is going to be gold and silver-related assets. And, of course, commodities, but most people don't buy large amounts of commodities, nor do they play the commodity market. And I don't recommend that they do, because it's very, very dangerous. That and the foreign exchange market, people lose money 95% of the time. And so I see that the whole thing is headed in that direction. My figures may be not perfect, but there's something conservative to go on. I see some of the people are following my lead and saying that there'll be one new one for 10 old dollars. I don't believe that. You know, I've been doing this a long time, and, you know, people fall off the deep end because usually they're selling something like coins or bullion or food or whatever, and they like to spectacularize these things so that they can make lots more money doing so. I'm not selling anything. I got a publication, and quite frankly, I don't need any money. And I can't accumulate money because I give it away to poor people usually, and very poor people. And so I don't have any other agenda. And I come on all these programs just to warn people that there's going to be trouble and you better get ready.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. I have a number of questions to start off with. One in particular comes in from a gentleman out of New York City, and it kind of chimes in with Betty in Southern California. Mr. Chapman, and this is from Betty in California. She says, Mr. Chapman, I'm hearing a lot of scuttlebutt, and the girls are sitting around the table, and they've heard a lot of scuttlebutt about giving up gold and buying silver because the silver is so undervalued in relationship to gold. What is your perspective on that?
Silver has not been a monetary metal since 1967. Gold has been a monetary metal for 6,000 years, although for a good part of those years, up until just recently, and 40 years ago is just recently, silver was in great circulation as currency. And, we had, prior to 1964, dimes, quarters, and halves, which are 90% silver. And I found it interesting that a state representative from South Carolina had advocated and put in a bill, actually, Mike Pitts, to do away with the Federal Reserve notes and use silver and gold coins in his state because he believes that the U.S. economy is going to collapse, and it's the fault of the Federal Reserve. But anyway, the main metal is gold. Yes, there may be a lot more leverage in silver, and that's okay if you want to play it that way. I put 20 to 30% of, right now I'm 20% in silver, 80% in gold. And every 2 or 3 weeks I buy more and more gold. And in usually coins in the part of the world that I live, they're not easy to find. I have to have people out hunting for me to get them. And so anyway, that's what I do. And because my publication recommends stocks, I never, nor does any member of my family, ever engage in buying stocks, particularly gold and silver stocks. And that's why I'm not in them. I like them very much, but I have to forego that because of the position I'm in, making recommendations. And I recommend coins too, but that's kind of a universal thing, and it's not specific. I mean, coins are coins, stocks are different. And so, to each his own on the silver-gold ratio. That's my take on it. Another thing too is if you're into coins, it's good to have gold bullion coins. Now, there's 1 ounce, half ounce, quarter ounce, and 1/10 ounce. Some of them have 1/5 of an ounce as well. Not quite, but we'll call it a fifth. There are some coins that in the 1 ounce category are 0.98, and some of them are 1 ounce. Some of them are 1.22, like the Mexican Centenario. And so why I'm mentioning this is by a cross-section. Because if you have to use them to buy and sell things with, you don't want to have all your money in those 1 ounce coins approximately. And I know there's higher premiums on the lower size coins, but pay it to get them. I do. That's my take on it. And I've only been doing this for 50 years. So
well, your experience is a whole lot better than ours.
Well, I bought a MS-64 St. Gaudens Mint State coin, and in those days they didn't grade them in 1960. And I bought the coin for $47. I think they sell for around $1,700 or $1,800, and he's been as high as $5,500. And if you're ever going to buy numismatic coins, only buy Mint State graded coins, because the others are nothing but bullion coins, the others being the circulated. And when you go to sell them, you're not even going to get as much for them as you would for an American Gold Eagle coin. And the markups in those circulated numismatic coins are outrageous. I know a lot about the coin business. I mean, I've been buying them for years and years. But anyway, I've answered the question. Who's next?
Next is ask Bob if he thinks Canadian dollars is good to hold alongside gold and silver, and is there any other paper money that can be held with gold and silver that is invested?
Well, I only recommend Canadian and Swiss franc treasuries to people who got too much money. There's a lot of people who have lots of money, and they do buy them, usually millions of dollars. And they already own millions of dollars worth of gold and silver-related assets as well. They just don't want to have everything there. If I had to have another currency, it would be those two. I would rather own the bonds if I had the money to do so. Gold and silver are really the answer, whether it's coins or shares or both. I recommend both because there's tremendous leverage in the shares. Between 1978 and 81, the average gold stock went up 40 times more than gold bullion did. I mean, that's outrageous. So this time, if they only went up 5 or 10 times more than bullion, you'd make a pile of money, or have a pile of money which you could buy more coins with. And so the Canadian and Swiss and Australian and Norwegian currencies are all good currencies.
Okay, and moving on, we want to go back. We want to acquiesce back to the beginning. Earlier, Mr. Chapman mentioned the value of 3 to 1. What will be the effect on contracts that are written before the reevaluation, irregardless of the country in which reevaluation occurs?
Well, it's a wonderful question, and I've had it probably 1,000 times in the last 6 months since I started telling people this is where I think these things are going. And in fact, I even had one newsletter writer attack me, which really surprised me. I mean, it's okay to disagree, but to attack, that's dumb. But anyway, what was the question again?
Please ask. Let's see. Acquiesce question. Ask if he. Let's see.